Okay, so welcome to this little quickie about Disco API, JDK distributions as a service. To be honest, till yesterday I didn't know that I have the quickie today, so I prepared something and I hope it will fit into the 15 minutes. So about me, my name is Gerrit Grunwald. I'm working for Azul as the developer advocate, living in Germany, and enjoy all things Java. So the question is how to get a JDK these days, right? So, of course, SDK-man. Who's using SDK-man here? Okay, the other way would be you go to the vendor website and download it, right? And the situation that we face is we have many distributions, we have multiple versions, there's no central place to get them. And we have even different technologies, like we have OpenJDK distributions, we have GraalVM. So it could be a bit of a problem because it's not really an easy choice, right? So this is more or less the distributions that I figured out. I hope I got them all. And all of those distributions that you can find, who knows, for example, Tencent Kona? Well, one. And there's another one which is interesting, which is, I have to look for it. Temurin knows everyone. Bicheng. Who knows Bicheng? Yeah, same was for me. So it's from China and also Tencent Kona. It's interesting that there are so many different OpenJDK distributions out there, and some people just don't even heard about something like Semeru or SAP Machine. But some people just need this stuff. And for them, it's the only way to get either to the website or they have some APIs maybe, but there's, like I said, no general way to get that. And then we have not only one version, but we have versions from JDK 6 till whatever, 19EA, 20AA, you name it. So it's a lot of different versions. Not every distribution supports every version. So it's really, it could be challenging if you go to a customer project. Who's a consultant here? Yeah, so you might face the problem that you go to a customer and then they say, well, we work with, I don't know, Temurin version 17.01 on Mac, M1. So you really have to prepare your machine to get everything like the customer has it, right? So wouldn't it be great if there would be just one API that you can ask for something and it will just give you the link and you can just download it from there. So that was the main intention behind the Disco API. So it's a general discovery API for OpenJDK distributions and also for GraalVM. What it does is it gives you information about the distribution. It's vendor neutral, so I don't have any information about the vendors. It's really just the distributions. So it's Temurin, I don't care if it's AdoptOpenJDK, I have Corretto, don't care if it's Amazon, so it's really just the name of the distribution because that's what matters for me or for us. Then we have information about the version, about the platform, operating system, architectures, archive types, release status, it's something. Then term of support means long-term stable, short-term stable. Some have even mid-term stable. And then we have package types, and there's many more information, like TCK tested or not. And now we have this, with AdoptOpenJDK, we have Aquavit tests. This is also something, so it's really a lot of information. And for this reason, we have some endpoints in the API, which are not that many. You can just ask for the distribution. You can ask for major versions, like tell me who is supporting version 11. And then it gives you a list of all the distributions that support version 11 with the version, so you can check which version is available for which distribution, for example. And then we have the packages endpoint, which has lots of parameters because you can ask for very specific things. And then there's another endpoint, which is just IDs. But I don't go to this because this is just, like I said, this is a strip down from a session which is about more than 100 slides. To make it easier, because not everybody's using an API, right? So to make it easier, I created plugins for different IDEs. So we have plugins for IntelliJ, for Eclipse, for NetBeans, and also for Visual Studio Code. And these plugins more or less look all like this. So we have a window, you can just drill down. Let's say you just select the major version first, then you can select the version number. Then it gives you all the distributions that support this version number. And then you can go to the operating system, and so on and so on. So you can drill down to the package and then just download the package that you would like to see. And yeah, like I said, there's a plugin for IntelliJ. If you search for, what's the names? Disco, IDEA, Disco Eclipse, and I think it's Disco VSC for Visual Studio Code. You will find it in their specific marketplaces, so you can download it and install. I mean, IntelliJ also offers this kind of stuff, but not all the distributions that we offer. So, and we just give you the links. It won't install anything. So it just helps you downloading the package. You can install it wherever you like. Because, for example, if you use SDKman, SDKman will install the JDKs always in a specific place. If you are fine with that, cool. I'm not. So I like to have the JDKs in a specific folder on my machine. So that's the reason why I'm not using SDKman, for example. And the same goes with the IntelliJ plugin. If you use IntelliJ, it installs the JDKs in a specific place. And I would like to have the JDKs always in the place where I used to have them. So this is the reason we just provide the links and you can download. And then it's up to you where you install it. And in addition, I've also created some browser plugins for all these browsers that you see here. And in principle, they look all the same. It's always the same window because it's more easy. And you can also select JavaFX, for example, if you would like to have distributions that comes bundled with JavaFX, then you get only these ones. And you will find them for Chrome in the Chrome App Store. It's Disco Chrome, Disco Fox, Disco Edge, and Disco Safari. And the Safari one is in the App Store, in the Mac App Store, because this is a little bit different on Mac. And then there are other tools, like, for example, we created a CLI for the Disco API. So that means if you are running on a terminal, you can just do something like Disco CLI -H, and then you can just find all the stuff, and you can just download it directly from the terminal. Define where you would like to store it, and then you can do whatever you like. You can use it in a script because it gives you the return values at 0 and 1, so it's easy to pipe that through. And in principle, you can do all the stuff that the API provides from the CLI, if you like. As a little example here, let's say you would like to download the latest version of Java 17, bundled with FX, Zulu, then this is the stuff that you type in, and it will directly download it. And it will download it to your user folder if you don't really define the folder. You can also define the folder, but if you don't do it, it's in the user folder. Or you would like to have the Temurin 1702 for macOS, for ARC64. You would like to have a tar.gz, and it should be in that folder, then it will put it in that folder, right? It will directly download it. If you try something like the Liberica thing, it will tell you, oh, this version is not available, and then it gives you a list of all the available ones that it found. And the list is really, you can just copy that, paste, execute, and it will download it. So I try to make it as easy as possible, and it's up to you. So you can just use it if you like. Then you will find it here. It's on GitHub in my repository. Under the releases, you can download the binaries for all the different platforms. And we built it with JReleaser. And who knows JReleaser, by the way? 1, 2, 3. The guy who did JReleaser is sitting right here, Andres. And yeah, thanks for the great work. And we built Disco CLI also using JReleaser. And then there's another tool that I created because I'm lazy. And what always bugs me is when there's a new version out, I don't know all the dates when the next update release will come. So I always was struggling with, is the new version out or not? So I built a little tool, which is JDKMon, which uses the Disco API, and it just sits in your system tray and just monitors every 3 hours. It checks all the JDKs that it found on your hard drive, and then you can open the window and it tells you, oh, for example, the Zulu FX 8.3.12, there's a new version. And you can just click on DMG, tar, or zip, and it directly downloads it. Or it tells you, you see the red thing? That means there's a problem, for example, with the 11 or 13, because there was a CVE. if you click on that red thing, it will show you the list of CVEs for this one, and you can even click on the CVEs and check what was the problem with this. I have to say this is not really for the Zulu one, but this is all the CVEs that have been found for Oracle OpenJDK, right? So because this is built of Oracle OpenJDK, it might affect Zulu, but this is just a hint. And then there's also information about release notes. It's the blue on the right. So if you click this one, it will bring you to the Foo.j.io page. And if there are release notes, you can just see what was in that specific release. And you can also download same window as from the other stuff. So this is also available in JDKmon, where you can download if you just would like to drill down or for different distribution or whatever. So this is available on this GitHub repository. And then there are GitHub Actions. So who's using GitHub Actions here? So who knows setup Java? Nobody? Just one? Yeah, you know it, I know. So in GitHub Actions, you can use setup Java, which is the action to download and set up a JDK, right? That's fine. And they use different distributions now. I think they support 4. But we created a setup Java action that you can find under foo.j/setup-java@disco. If you use this one, this is the same as the setup Java action version 1, but it has one additional parameter called distro. You can just put in the distro and you can use it in your GitHub action. So that means if you use Tencent Kona, you can use the GitHub setup Java GitHub action to run it in your action. And this is available under Foo.j setup disco. If you look for that on GitHub, you will find it. So who else is using it? Because this is the interesting thing, right? We built that API at Foo.j.io and who's using it? So I just put some things up here. So it's Paketo build packs. They use the Disco API. JBang, who knows JBang? Come on, one. Also uses Disco API. SDKman, by the way, uses Disco API to get the updates for their JDKs. And JReleaser, of course, uses also Disco API to update the JDK. So what it does, the Disco API is running 24/7, and it checks around every 6 hours all the distributions for updates and then updates the links in the database. And so you can just ask it, and it should be more or less up to date. And at the moment we have, let me think, 42,000 packages in the database. So this is all the different versions and distributions. And that's it. So we still have, I think, a minute, maybe? 2 minutes, if someone has questions. Yeah, over there. Can
you download the sources for the JVM as well?
No, this is just the packages, really to install it. Yeah.
SDK and JVM as well?
SDK, yeah, it's a JDK and JRE you can download, if it's available, yeah. Yes, over there.
Wouldn't it be good to have a Gradle and Maven plugin?
Yes, that would be good. I agree. Yeah, exactly. JReleaser has one. But yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. Why not? Yeah, we should do that. It shouldn't be a problem. One more question? No? Okay then. Thanks for attending.